Hello, I'm the Eternal Newbie. The extra L is for law, as in one of the players in the first story today fought the law, and the law won. That's right, it's a story of how a simple D&D game led to the arrest of a simple man-child. But that's just the first story, and our other story is that of a vengeful DM. Sounds like a good lineup we got, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's get to it. So recently, I started a campaign of D&D 5th edition, which, while far from being my preferred system, has the big advantage of being quite well known. The group consisted of 4 people: Rogue, Druid Barbarian, Paladin Fighter, and Wizard. And since last week, 3, as the Wizard dropped out in a spectacular way. So the group was a bunch of players who I had played with in the past in several groups, with Rogue and Paladin being people I actually see outside of TTRPGs. Wizard is a former DM who was initially happy just to play, but had a tendency to rule lawyer a bit too often for my taste, and had voiced a few times I wasn't strict enough, but nothing dramatic. Until last week. The players were infiltrating a cult, and through some investigation they found out the cult leader was not a great demon, but a bard running a scam and using the cultists as magical batteries. Terribly original of me, I know. So the group gathers and decides to confront the leader at a black mass and try to convince the cult to turn on their leader, but roll terribly, and suddenly they are fighting for their life as the cultists summon their leader, who is still dangerous. The fight is not going their way, as there are just too many combatants, and the second in command is wreaking havoc. The cult leader appears as a demon, and then the fight would probably be a TPK, aka capture. The fight seems lost when the paladin does Zone of Truth on the cult leader. I throw a saving throw. 3, so he is forced to be truthful. Then, Paladin action surges to command him confess. I throw a nat 1 so you can guess what happened next. This convinces a significant part of the cultists to turn against their master, and after a few rounds, the combat is over. Everyone is happy, and we decide to take a little smoke break. Everyone except Wizard, who is looking quite angry as this all conspired, but I didn't think much of it. As the group is outside chatting and smoking, he bursts out holding Paladin's sheet. You cheated! He basically yells and comes to me to show that Zone of Truth was not prepared. Dun dun dun! Paladin basically admits it, but tells me he scrapped another spell and only thought of the option in the midst of the unexpected fight. Rest of the players boo a little, but it's clear we're taking this quite lightly, as we all actually liked it. Well, Wizard didn't, and demands I ban Paladin on the spot. I refuse and tell him I do not think it's a big deal, as I tell him the chances of the cult leader failing either save was quite small. Basically only 3 could do it. Wizard gets angrier and angrier, screaming now. I tell him to tone it down, as I do not want noise complaints. But he gets even madder and punches me for not punishing Paladin for cheating. Well, you can guess that spoils the mood considerably. And we tell him to leave, which he refuses, becoming more aggressive and screaming louder as we desperately try to keep him from hurting us, without hurting him. That's when the doorbell rings, as the police have been called to check up as the noise is waking up my apartment block. We tell what is happening, but Wizard is now completely off the rails, tries to push a police officer and is taken into custody, and still refuses cooperation, so is carried out screaming. You know, I get being mad at the Paladin. Though I fall more on the side of, it was really a brilliant plan. But I get it. I don't get acting like a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum as a grown-ass adult. It's almost like the Wizard cast Crown of Madness on himself. Though I'm betting right now he wishes he could cast Wish and make it all go away. I wish I could have seen the Wizard try to explain to his cellmates what he got arrested for. Look guys, you guys don't get it. The Paladin cast a spell he didn't even prepare. I had no choice. So I went medieval on all their asses. Yeah, that probably went over real well. Story 2. I've been playing D&D for almost 9 years now, as both a player and a DM. I've had my fair shares of ups and downs, but this situation has bugged me for a long time, hoping to get some outside opinions on what happened. A friend decided to start up a new campaign and had 2 others and myself join. I rolled up a rogue for my PC that I was really excited about playing. Kind of a street rat that got picked up by a gang, now served as a jack-of-all-trades type. As I was talking about my backstory with the DM in Session 0, he told me to make a second character just in case. I've been there before, a lucky crit or a bad fall while doing something stupid. I didn't think anything of it and made up a paladin quickly and threw together a backstory. At this point, the DM told me he liked my second character more than my first. I told him that I was really excited about the first one and would prefer to play my rogue. He didn't fight it, so I thought that was the end of the issue. Cut to session 1. We are stuck in an island city that is overrun with undead. They roam free at night and retreat to the sewers during the day. Our first mission was to earn money to afford passage off the island by hunting undead in the sewers. Our trio descended and fought an assortment of zombies and skeletons before encountering a lone undead figure. The DM told us it looked stronger than the ones we had fought previously. He later described it as a buffed wight, which is way too tough for 3 level 1 adventurers. Of course, we had no way of knowing this beforehand. We attacked it. Our fighter took front line and hit it pretty hard. Our bard used a debuff. My rogue threw a bottle of holy water he had bought from a vendor in the city, which did decent damage. On the wight's turn, the DM chose to have the wight ignore the fighter, smacking it with a greatsword, take an attack of opportunity, and go straight for my rogue. I was downed round 1. The other 2 party members continued combat, trying to finish the wight. On its second turn, instead of dealing with the active threat to the 2 remaining party members, the DM chose to have the wight execute my downed character. I kid you not. He described it as impaling my body on a spear before hurling it into the wall. Being level 1, this did more than my max HP while I was down, so I died instantly. The remaining party ended up defeating the wight and returning to the surface. Obviously, I was unhappy with the situation. I'd spent lots of time on my character, and I felt unfairly targeted. When I brought this up to the DM, he said we weren't supposed to fight it and was trying to teach us to run away. In my opinion, it's hard to run away from a fight when you are targeted and downed in the first round. I'd love to hear opinions from the other point of view. Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw in my 2 copper. DM totally ganked your character. Wights are not stupid. It's not going to finish off someone that is no longer a threat while 2 other threats are attacking it. It's like that old saying, 2 wrongs don't make a wight. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So I'm totally putting 100% of this one on the DM. And what a bad way to handle things. But what do you think? I would love to hear your opinions on this or really anything. I love getting comments. So please leave one if you feel so inclined. Likes are likewise appreciated. If you're new around here, how about sticking around with a sub? I put out about 2 videos a week, and if you enjoyed this one, odds are you'll enjoy the others. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, play your character. Don't let your character play you.